Good afternoon. It's Thursday, the 8th of July. It's 3 p.m. UK time. Welcome to the Michael Essick Live Hour. Cali was the first one here today. Hello to you, Cali. Hope you are good. Scott was next. Heat in Jane. Is that how you pronounce that? Lynn from a British transplant in California. I hope you mean you're the transplant, Lynn. Sinead. Am I pronouncing that one right? Christina is here. Scott has picked up on the joke that I have done. Eric Cantona is in the house and says football is coming home. Well, Eric would know. Of course, he is the king, and he would know about that kind of stuff. And I believe he might be right. It does feel a bit like football is coming home today. Eddie says hello. Teddy is here. Mike from Texas. Teddy from Texas as well. Dion raining today. Well, I can tell you from here in Cheshire, it's not raining right now, but I think it is going to do in a bit. But it's been very nice weather. So thank you for joining me today, guys. Who else have we got? Ben is here. Hello to you. Tanya is here from Southern California. I'm assuming we're all good sound-wise. You can hear and see me okay. Looking good, feeling good. Football's coming home and all that stuff. Lynn says there's a terrible echo. Does anybody else have that terrible echo issue? Please let me know if you do. Ibrahim from Kenya is here. And Kuga from Germany. Lance from Florida. Sue from Wisconsin. Wonderful. It is lovely to have you all joining me. We took a break last week. Didn't do any live streaming last week. So it's good to be back with you and to be hearing from you all. Jaideep from India is here. Scott says sound is good for me. Tanya says no. Lance says no echo, no issues, no echo. We're all good. Looks like that was a problem on your end. Who was that with the echo issue? Lynn, I'm afraid. Okay, let's get into it today because we have got a bit to get through, and I feel like these sessions are best and most useful when we get through a lot of content. So that's what we're going to do. All right. Yes, today's session. What is it? A free design and brand critique session. So yesterday I emailed my list, my email subscribers, and I said, if you've got a design, if you've got a store, if you've got a Shopify store or Instagram account that you'd like me to take a look at and offer some constructive criticism, some advice, then that's what we're going to do today. We're going to look at those who've sent stuff in. Thank you to everyone who did. I'll comment on that in a second. But before we do, if you can like and subscribe, give me a thumbs up. That would be wonderful. I don't really even know what it does, except everyone says you should do it. So I think you should like and subscribe. That would be wonderful. Ask questions as we go. I will keep an eye on the comments. So if you've got questions, comments, keep them positive and friendly, of course. But if you have something to say about the work, if you have a bit of constructive criticism of your own or a recommendation for someone that I'm reviewing, that would be great. And if you have any questions, best to get them in as they pop into your head because we don't always have time at the end to go through them. So, and I should say as well, if you are interested, what we're doing today is obviously pretty quick fire. I'm going to look at some stuff. I'm going to give you some pointers. But if you'd like a deeper dive, if you'd like me and you to sit down and talk about your business and go through, your skill set, your designs, your strategy, and really come up with a custom plan to help your business move forward. Maybe you're feeling a bit stuck. You're not sure what direction to go in. I am opening up private consultations. Now, I don't have loads of slots, but if you're interested, you can go to michaelessick.com/cal, as in CAL, short for calendar, and you can book a slot there. These are paid private sessions, which means it's me and you one-on-one. You can book a half-hour slot or an hour slot. The half-hour slots cost $100. The hour slots cost $200. Pretty simple. So you can go to michaelessick.com/cal if you would like to book a slot. And they are of limited availability. So if you are interested, I would recommend you go and book before they all get taken up. I don't open up for consultations that often. but when I do, they sell out pretty quickly, and it's a good way to get a bit more detailed, custom help rather than the kind of quick fire stuff that we'll do on the stream today. But all that being said, let me just introduce who this is for and what this is. If you're new here to my channel or to my content, my name is Michael Essick. I'm a t-shirt designer. I've been selling, designing, creating t-shirts and selling them and licensing them online for about 6 or 7 years. It's a full-time gig for me and has been, for several years. And if you're of a similar ilk, if you're a designer, if you're an illustrator, maybe you're selling on print-on-demand sites like Redbubble or Etsy, and you'd like to sell more and come up with better ideas and build a brand, then this kind of stuff is for you. So I'm not, this is not like an art channel. This is not for people who want to get better at art necessarily, in inverted commas. This is for people who want to create designs that are going to be sold on products. So typically for me, that's t-shirts, but it could be posters or greetings cards or anything like that. But yeah, if you want to create products and sell them and make money from licensing your art and selling your art on products, then my channel, my stream, my content is going to be useful for you, I believe. That is to say, if you're doing art for, therapeutic purposes, for, something that you just enjoy doing, you're not interested in monetizing it or making money from it in any way, then this is probably not for you. And I just give that caveat because a few people have submitted stuff in the past and I've reviewed it and they've got a bit upset because they didn't realize, I'm kind of critiquing it with a view to selling it and maybe telling you why you're not selling any. And obviously, if you're just doing art for the fun of it, none of that matters. So that's the kind of caveat out the way. Please don't be offended by any of the comments or suggestions I give here. This is not a critique on your art style or anything like this. This is purely thinking about, creating commercial art that we can sell and license on products. So all that out of the way, Lynn has got the echo fixed. That's good. Kathleen is here. Catherine is here. Hello to you. Cali said no echo. And Code Whisperer is here from Texas as well. Wonderful. So should we dive into it? I have got about 5 or 6 different stores, accounts, things to look at. And what I'm going to do is just pull them up. I'm going to look through them with you. I have had a look at them, so I've got a few thoughts to share. And I've ordered these in order of those I think I can give the most help to. Before I dive in, there was quite a lot of submissions that were just Redbubble stores, which is fine. However, more than a few of those, I'd say the majority of those who submitted their whole Redbubble store, they were what I would call a generic Redbubble store, which is to say you're not really targeting any specific niche. You don't even really have a specific style of artwork or anything like that. And because of that, I feel like there's not really anything I can say, or not much I can say that's really going to be helpful. Redbubble, it's going to be an organic traffic-driven marketplace, which means to make sales on Redbubble, you're going to get those sales via people searching for something and finding it on Redbubble and then buying it. If you have a generic Redbubble store and there's no real rhyme or reason to, the niches you're going after and stuff like that, it's just very hard for me to offer real constructive criticism. I can critique individual designs, but not your whole store. So yeah, there was a lot of kind of generic stores, and I just feel like, good luck to you if you're doing that kind of thing. There was a lot of, Father's Day, Christmas, Valentine's Day, all over the shop kind of stuff. And I just feel I can't really help you with that. But I do have some people I can help with. So first off, we will start with Atomic Bullfrog. I'm afraid I've forgotten the name of the lady who is behind Atomic Bullfrog, but let's pull it up and have a look at this site. And let's talk a little bit about it. Maybe before we do, we'll just take this question from Lance. N. Holloway is here. Good day to you. TQ is here. Good day to you. Kelvin from Vietnam. Nice to have you here too, Kelvin. Lance said, Michael, can you have multiple Redbubble stores? Do you need to use different emails, bank accounts? Lance, you can have multiple Redbubble stores. Or at least I should say you can practically have multiple Redbubble stores, because I do. You will need different email addresses, and I'm not sure about the bank accounts thing. I think I've used PayPal and have different PayPal emails for them. When I say you can, what I mean is I do, and it's fine. Do Redbubble have something in the fine print that says you shouldn't have multiple Redbubble accounts? Don't know. I would think it unlikely, and it's obviously the case that they're not really employing too much advanced technology to do that, because I'm logging into several Redbubble accounts from the same computer. They're not blocked me or reported me or caused me any issues for several years. So, so take that as you will with a pinch of salt. But in my experience, it's fine. Red Fox from the Philippines is here. Hello to you too. Okay, so Atomic Bullfrog. This is, let me make this a little bit bigger and we'll dive into this. So this is a Shopify store. I'm afraid I can't remember the name of the lady, but we'll call you Mrs. Atomic Bullfrog for now. It's not very flattering, is it? But there you go. TQ says they say up to 5 is okay, if I recall correctly. Okay, interesting bit of information there. The Ihormi from Nigeria is here. Hello to you. Kelvin says, I have some products on Redbubble, but I don't have any orders yet. Can you show me how I can have orders, please? Thank you. I'm afraid I won't be able to answer that question today, Kelvin, but I do have a very detailed blog post on my website, michaelessick.com. If you go there and you scroll down and you look for how to sell on Redbubble, you will see a very detailed right there, how to sell on Redbubble and actually make money. A lot of information here, and this is basically everything I know on how to make money on Redbubble. So go and check that out if you haven't already. Kelvin Suketa, when are you going to start the Ideas Workshop? This month, the doors will be opening on the Ideas Workshop. So keep an eye on your email, keep an eye on your inbox, keep an eye on YouTube, and follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and make sure you're following me all the places, and then you won't miss it. But yeah, I don't have a specific date. We're working on some stuff behind the scenes. We have a lot of stuff going on the Ideas Workshop, which hopefully I'll be able to share soon. But yeah, it will be sometime this month, Dave. Okay, Atomic Bullfrog, Asian-inspired clothing and accessories. Now, I can see on the screen what you can see, and one of the things that jumped out to me immediately, Mrs. Atomic Bullfrog, is that there's very little information here. Assume, for example, that I couldn't read for some reason, and I landed on this website. There is no visual that really tells me anything about, what I've landed on. There's no image. Above the fold is an old school term for, the things at the top of a web page, but there's nothing at the top of this web page which really tells me what it is. I might be able to judge or guess based on the logo style a little bit, but even then, there's not a lot going on. So my first recommendations would be around improvements to your Shopify store and your theme and your layout and stuff, and that would be get some imagery high up on this page, so that as soon as someone lands there, they're immediately given a message of, this is what I do, this is what you've landed on, here's what we do, and here's what we sell, and that kind of thing. So I have to scroll down here. I do get an image here, which is good, and I'm starting to get some colors and get a kind of vibe for what's going on, and I can see it's this kind of Japanese kawaii style is what your brand is all about. But I do have to scroll a little bit, and even then I only get kind of one image for a while. Then I get another image, and then I get this several images, which is really what you want. So I would recommend getting some products, getting some images of products, and hopefully or ideally several products right here at the top. So as soon as someone lands on this page, they're going to get a clear picture of what it is you do, and you're going to be able to showcase your designs and really show them off, because that's the plan, right? So, yeah, a couple of other things on this store. So I had to scroll a bit just to kind of see some of your designs in the first place. And then if I do, click on shop now, for example, I then get taken to the collections list. I don't really like this kind of thing. And my point here is you're making people do quite a bit of clicking before I can really see, your design. So what I really want to do is just get a page where I can just see all the products. So I have to kind of maybe click on this drop down and click this one. And then this is kind of more what I'm looking for. Now I can see, a nice range of your products and several of them, or all in a nice, scrollable page. So I would recommend trying to, reduce the friction. What you want to do is get people to what they're looking for as quickly as possible on your store. And that usually means removing clicks. You want to be from the homepage. I could click on a product and then be looking at the product detail page, and then I could add it to my cart, and you've made a sale. So a couple of comments there on the Shopify theme itself. Make things a bit more obvious, and then design recommendations. I found, I think I do get a pretty clear vibe from your designs. Certainly when I'm looking here, for example, in the kawaii clothing section, but then you've got other designs which are not really, really fitting the bill. For example, this unicorn one isn't really related to kawaii stuff. And then this guy, I mean, it's Japanese, but it's not really, kawaii style. So I think I would really recommend that you filter things down and make things much more focused around the style that you're going after, and remove anything that's distracting from that style. Because as humans, we're pretty easily distracted and we're easily confused. So if I land on a store and I'm getting a message, that this is cool and it's kawaii stuff, and then all of a sudden there's something that isn't that, you just kind of knock me off balance. And then I start wondering, well, is this a really, authentic kawaii store, or do they sell everything? And, how do I know? And you just kind of, can cause people to stumble and trip, and then, they're distracted and they're off course. So I would really focus down on what it is you're good at, and maybe your best sellers, and focus on those. In terms of style, this design jumped out at me because this is a much more kind of engaging product. And a lot of this comes down to designs in general. If you've got something like this as a design, okay, it's a cute looking little illustration of a cat, but there's not a lot there to engage a viewer. And, there's not a lot for someone to hang their hat on and want to buy this product. Why would they want to buy it? Well, it's cute. Okay. But I mean, is that it? Like, is it for cat lovers? Is there some joke or some pun that I'm not aware of? And when you've got cute designs like that, it's really, it's not often enough to push people into a sale. Whereas with this one, you've reused the same graphic, but now we've got, a funny, a pun, a bit of text going on dead inside. And it makes sense because the cat has a skeleton face. And plus, you've got this really cool, nice kawaii style pink and purple background with other supporting graphics and elements behind it. So it's a much more engaging design because of all those things. So that's what I would recommend to you, Mrs. Atomic Bullfrog. Look for or work on designs like this, which are going to be much more engaging. It's also much more unique because simple designs like this or the cat or whatever, I'm not saying they're bad or anything like that, but they're sometimes a little bit oversimplified and easy for other people to do. And especially when it comes to marketing and Instagram and stuff, you want to be doing things that engage people enough that make them want to follow you. And they're probably not going to follow you for super simple designs that they can get anywhere. Whereas stuff like this, with some colors and some more going on, you're going to be engaging people and causing them to, engage with your stuff a bit more. So there's a lot of good stuff going on here. Some of your mock-ups are very detailed and interesting. There's a lot of variety. But I would work on some of those Shopify theme issues to make it a bit more, user-friendly. And I think design-wise, I would want to try and focus on, these more engaging designs in general. Instagram recommendations. Let's have a quick look at your Instagram. So yeah, a couple of issues that I saw here. So obviously we're going under the name Atomic Bullfrog Studios, which is fine. But of course, the profile image here is of you. I'm so sorry, I don't know your name. It does seem very rude, but the picture is of you, not a brand logo or something like that. And I think that's, this is a mismatch. which isn't really going to help people know what they're looking at. If people don't know what they're looking at, why would they follow you? If they're landing here and looking confused and thinking, well, is this a brand or is this a person? Am I following an individual or am I following a clothing brand? And similarly, looking down through your photos, we got a lot of kind of personal images, but then mixed in with some product ones. And I think you need to just make a decision, which is it going to be? You could keep this account as your personal account and set up a new Atomic Bullfrog dedicated Instagram. But I think separating them out is definitely the way to go. And then you can go full throttle on, a full brand Instagram account, which allows you to do, allows you to post exclusively about your designs, about your products, about works in progress and stuff, and then keep the personal stuff over on your personal account. So a couple of simple recommendations there, but I feel like that would set you up to then, begin growing it full throttle, because at the moment, I feel like your Instagram is not something that people are likely to want to subscribe to. But if you had a dedicated Instagram that was, featuring your designs, it would be much easier for people to hit the subscribe button. Okay, or the follow button, as it's known. All right, that was Atomic Bullfrog. Let me take a drink here and answer some questions before we get into our next one. Suketa Dave also wants to know an ideal t-shirt design size. If you're talking about the canvas size, then I use the Merch by Amazon canvas size, which is 4,500 pixels by 5,400 pixels, height to width. And yeah, that's never steered me wrong. I do all of my designs for that canvas size, and I find that works perfectly well for any print-on-demand site, any print-on-demand fulfillment company. It's plenty big enough for all those use cases. If you're asking about, how you fit designs on the canvas, then I have a video I did maybe this time last year about layout when it comes to t-shirt designs, where you should position stuff. So go and look on my YouTube channel, search for layout. I think it's called, layout. I can't remember what it's called, but if you search for layout, you'll find it. Red Fox, I don't know if this is a good question. What do you prefer? Invest for a graphic designer or websites like Vecteezy, Creative Fabrica, Freepik with good graphics that's edited? Thanks. And Red Fox goes on to clarify, I do know on editing and have knowledge of Photoshop and AI. So yeah, Red Fox. I personally do not use sites like that. So there's a few use cases for sites like that. Number one, some of these sites sell, elements and vectors and stuff which you might want to use in your artwork. Now, I do use, background elements and stuff, the kind of stuff that you find on this site. So on those sites. So if I'm looking for a crescent moon for a design, or some stars, or maybe some trees in the background, palm trees or something, I might go and look at one of those sites and grab a vector or something like that. What I would not do is go and take a design from one of those sites and use it as the main focus of a design. That would not be what I do. I don't recommend you do it, because of course that's not your design. Yes, you may have the rights to use it, but so does everybody else. So, what you create is unlikely to, or it could be the situation that, and especially because a lot of these sites are now doing full-blown designs, they're not just doing little graphic elements, but they're selling t-shirt designs as t-shirt designs. Lots of people are basically selling the same designs, or trying to anyway. There's nothing unique about it. It's not yours. You don't own the copyright. You can't really go and license that. Well, you might be able to technically go and license it to different places, but certain channels will be closed to you. So I always recommend doing the work yourself, either drawing stuff if you're an artist or an illustrator, or maybe you're like me, you're an artist or an illustrator with limited time, and you go out and employ a designer or an illustrator to do work that you can't or don't have the time to do. So I do that. I have a couple of illustrators I work with. I give them very detailed instructions and I sketch things out, with a lot of detail, and then I basically hand it over to them to complete the task and complete the job. So yeah, all that to say, I don't use those sites. I think there's complications around, legal issues, and I think it's just a lot clearer and a lot simpler if you just do your own original work. And you can use stuff like that for supportive background elements, secondary elements, whatever you want to call them. But I would not recommend using them, or even using them as like a principal part of the design. They would always be a secondary background part of it. Okay, Tanya, will you also please show a good website example and the reasons why? So the opposite of a critique. That's a good point, Tanya. And yeah, let's quickly look, because I did do a quick search while I was looking at Atomic Bullfrog, and I just did a search for like kawaii clothing. I know that's pretty basic, but and the first one that came up was this kawaii babe. So as a kind of comparison to, here's Atomic Bullfrog, and here's Kawaii Babe. I mean, there's an immediate, juxtaposition of the difference here. No products here on the homepage. 4 different products I can see here on the homepage, and then as I scroll down, I'm immediately, taken to see some products, and I immediately get, what I'm looking at here. So I think this is a better example when it comes to like themes and getting people straight to the point of your website and stuff like that, removing the clicks, making it very simple and straightforward, and really making it obvious to people what you do and what you offer. And I think that's a really important part of it. So yeah, a good website example and the reasons why. I mean, I think, yeah, this is just a good example insofar as it's consistent in its style. You can see, the general vibe. There's not many complications. E-commerce stores are pretty basic. They all follow a pretty basic pattern. And, you have product pages, you have category pages. And as long as you don't get in the way of your customer and you've got something the customer wants, you should see sales. I mean, I know it's a bit of an oversimplification, but yeah, you can see how simple it is on this site to find something and, move around, and yeah. But I think we've kind of covered that one. All right. Suketa, is all over print for t-shirts a good option? I think it just depends on the niche in the market, Suketa. So something like, the kawaii style stuff, people do pay. I know, like, if you're doing all over print, you tend to be looking at more expensive products, but people pay it. This kind of all over print dress, or I don't know how you've managed to do the shirts. I don't know how you've done that, but very cool. But yeah, people do pay for stuff that they really like. So if you can target a market like that, that's willing to pay higher prices for stuff, then definitely all over prints can work. They're very popular in certain niches and markets. Okay, Drawn to Cats. Let me find you here. Drawn to Cats. This is Cat Linus, coincidentally. Cat has sent me her Drawn to Cats Instagram account. I'm just going to follow her back. And as you can see here, cat fun, quirky, colorful cat greetings cards. And that's exactly what Cat delivers. Very clean, cute illustrations, funny cat cards. So a few comments for you, Cat. I really, I think first of all, I think your style is very good. It looks professional, just kind of scrolling through here. You look like someone who knows what they're doing. You're obviously skilled at your, craft. The clean, easy to understand, easy to grasp graphics. And I think that's great. It's something that I think with a few little improvements, you could see, people being very eager to hit the follow button if they like cats, or they like your jokes, or they like your style. So Style-wise, design-wise, I don't think we've got any issues at all. What I would recommend, first off, kind of a business strategy thought, is to develop some kind of lead magnet. And not sure whether you're familiar with the term lead magnet. It basically means give something away for free so that people will give you their email address. Usually you're looking to grab someone's email address. Now, the reason that came to mind was because as far as I can see, you currently sell on Thoughtful, which is a greetings card site, and you have your Instagram. So I couldn't see a website, couldn't see anything else. And I feel like, you could be leaving options on the table there. And what you really want to do, let's say someone's scrolling Instagram, or they come across your profile, or they come across one of your things. Like, yeah, of course, you want them to come to your Instagram account and hit follow, and that's great. But I don't know about you. I have an account with 10,000 followers. If I put a post up, it only gets seen by, I don't know, a few hundred of those, maybe a couple of thousand. So Instagram is not, the most reliable way to get products in front of people. What you want to do is take those eyeballs and get their email addresses so that you can then email them, and then that gives you more options for reaching people. So what I would recommend is come up with some idea about how you could offer people something for free in exchange for an email address. So it could be something like, I know, for example, here you're offering free wallpapers. That's great. That could be something, they could still be free, but you say, hey, go to this link, put your email address in. That's how you get access to the free wallpapers, for example. Or you could do something like, here's a few free print at home greetings cards, or something like that. I don't know. There's lots of options, and you could have a brainstorm around ways you could do that, but just give them something, offer them something around that you can give them for free, so that you can grab that email address, because then that's going to help you build that list of people you can market to in the future. So yeah, one thought there on lead magnets. I would think about the other products you can offer. I believe you're already thinking about this anyway, but as I mentioned, you're currently only selling on Thoughtful, as far as I can gather, which is great. Thoughtful's very good. I sell on there myself. However, I know from experience it is hard to make any kind of decent money selling greetings cards, because there's just such a low cost product. People pay a few dollars, or $5 or less or something for a greetings card. You're going to get what, 10, 20, 30, not much more than that percent of that. So you're going to have to sell a lot of cards for it to start making some decent money. Now, of course, some people do sell a lot of cards, but what I wouldn't do is intentionally, stick with cards just because you like them or whatever. I would, as I believe you are doing, look at other options. So I know you mentioned T-shirts, and I think that's one approach. I would also recommend looking at posters and prints, because those are relatively low-cost items, but you are going to get a much more higher margin on those. So if you can, use Printful or Printify or something, or even print your own prints at home, you can charge, a decent amount for a print or a poster, and you're going to make a lot more profit on that than you would on a greetings card sale. So yeah, I would start thinking about what I'm not saying is that you take these designs and whack them on posters. Some of them might work for that, and some of them might work for T-shirts. But what I would think about is, can you design some posters with your cat characters that would work? Off the top of my head, things like A to Z of cats, A to Z of this, or different where you're going to get little illustrations of different cats all together to make it an engaging poster. And similarly for T-shirts, I think that would be worth your time to consider. And the good thing, T-shirts, posters, these are all easy to set up. You can set up with Printful, you can start your Shopify or through WooCommerce or whatever. So it's relatively low cost, relatively straightforward to start selling that stuff, and you don't have to, and you can make then higher profit margins on your sales. Just another, did I write this one down? Yeah, so give people a reason to follow. I believe you're kind of doing that already, but I just think a lead magnet would help. And then the other thing I was going to say is, I would just take a look at some of your design. I can see what you're doing here is you're taking the graphic from a greetings card, and you are listing that on the that's what you're using for Instagram. And then for other ones, you've taken the card and then shrunk it down to fit a square canvas. And I don't know whether you can see, like here, obviously I'm looking on my computer, but if I was looking at this on a grid on Instagram as well on my phone, it would, you see this is kind of getting cropped here, and like this one's getting cropped here, and that one gets cropped there. And it's not a huge deal, but I just feel like if people are scrolling and things are cropped, it's just not great. Whereas if they're scrolling and things are showing up like this, nice and neat padding around it, all showing up in a square, it's just going to be a nicer visual experience. And it might just mean the difference between, you know, people following or not, because they can actually see the full design and get the full joke without having to click through it. So just a thought there for you as well, Kat. Okay, a few comments, I think, here from Kat and around Kat. Cali says, Kat, recognize you from Kathy Weller's group. Catherine says, thanks for looking at my stuff. No problem. Kat says, I've been working on setting up a newsletter this week. Cool. Great. And Audrey says, I'm hoping to start up a newsletter soon too. Best of luck to us both. Yeah, definitely. You know, the thing with having an email newsletter is it's just so much more reliable, and people do, even though, of course, a lot of people skip their emails and don't read them, but people do tend to engage with emails, and you're just guaranteed to get it in someone's inbox, whereas you're not guaranteed to get your Instagram post in front of all the people that follow you. It's a funny old world, but Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, they've decided they're not going to show what you post to all the people who follow you. They're going to show it to a small percentage, and if it's popular enough, it might get a bit further, but you know, you get my point. Whereas with email, every email you send, it's going to go in someone's inbox. Yes, they might not open it, but at least you're getting in front of them. So, and Catherine says, I have a small Etsy, but it's crickets. I get a couple of hundred a month on Thoughtful. That's very good. You must be selling, you know, quite a few cards on there to do that. That's a lot more than I'm getting on Thoughtful. So yeah, obviously, like, cards is good, and by all means, you know, more power to you on the cards front. You might even want to look at selling cards directly, you know, not via Thoughtful, but via your own Shopify or something like that. So yeah, Lynn, some of those cats would make great posters for a kid's room. Yes, agreed. Definitely a good idea there. Audrey says, maybe Cat Print could help you with printmaking. It's on brand and they donate to cat shelters. So useful there from Audrey. Thank you for that. And Kat says, thanks for the tips. No problem. Scott says, love the cat stuff. Not sure about the Insta logo. Yeah, I suppose it might be nice to get a bit more color there and maybe not have the cat's head floating in space. You know, you could take any one of your cats and make a nice logo from it. But yeah. Okay, some good tips there. Thank you guys for joining in. And thank you, Kat, for submitting, and I hope that was helpful for you. Who's next? Cali Rally. Okay, Cali was one of the only ones, I think, to actually send some individual designs through for today's session, so I thought we better look at those. So Cali sent, I should say, two designs. This one, which says Florida, and let's take them in turns. Florida. So we got Florida with the sunshine and then the lightning and everything. So the joke here, or the kind of subtext, you could say, is that Florida is, you know, sunny one minute and then it's thunderstorm the next and then it's hurricane weather and whatever. So I think that's fine. And I like, you know, what I like about this design is the style, and I like the limited color palette. I think it looks nice. I'm not sure that the concept as laid out here is strong enough. So I do think, and I think you kind of suggested this in your email, Cali, that, you know, it could benefit from a little bit more text or something to make the joke extra strong. So I can't remember what you said, but you said, let me see if I can find it. I think you had an idea in your head anyway for something like, you know, a joke you could do for that design to make it an extra little bit more funny. And I'm just looking at it now. So you said something like Florida, sunshine, and so much more. And yeah, I think that's cool. And then you went on to say then lightning and rain and an alligator below it. And I think that's fun. I think this idea of, Florida, this kind of juxtaposition is like Florida, Sunshine State, blah, 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 juxtaposed with like a hurricane in the background and an alligator eating someone and lightning striking someone down, that kind of vibe, I think is funny. I'm not exactly sure how you're going to realize that in a design, but that kind of thing I think is funny. It's that kind of juxtaposition between, hey, come and visit us for your vacation versus this is a very dangerous place. It's like Australia, come to Australia, the devil's pet shop where everything wants to bite you and kill you and everything's venomous. So I think there's definitely humor potential there, and there's a myriad of ways you could explore that and attack it. I think, in terms of visual style, you might want to pursue ideas like, the kind of vacation postcard look, vintage postcard where it says Florida in big letters, but then the tagline is something, sassy and funny or something. Sunshine and hurricanes, or hurricanes and crocodile, or hurricanes and alligators, or something like that. I saw one the other day that was like cool. I don't know. I can't remember what the particular city or state was or something, but it was something like cool Texas facts. And then it just said, it sucks, or something like that. So yeah, that kind of approach where you just kind of flip it, what you'd expect to be a fun vintage Florida poster, or, something that the kind of thing you might find in an airport, a gift shop kind of deal. But instead you kind of invert it with a crocodile, alligator, not a crocodile, and some kind of text that, flips the joke. I think that could work. So yeah, I know I've just kind of thrown out concepts rather than improve this design. But yeah, I mean, you could go with this design and then just like Florida, sunshine and hurricanes or something, that's funny. But I think there's a lot of other, places you could push that concept. So hope that one helps. And then this one, you've got eager to build. And this is obviously kind of around like bodybuilding. And obviously the kind of pun, if you like, is eager beaver, and it's eager to build. And I think there's kind of a bit too much going on there. And the thing that I thought would make it kind of a simpler concept and make more sense would simply be to write eager beaver and just have your beaver there ready to do his reps or whatever. I know that sounds like almost too simple, but it's kind of that, play on the word eager. And I just think eager to build, it's not like a catchy phrase. It doesn't roll off the tongue. There's no alliteration. There's no rhyming. So I would, just go for like eager beaver. And then obviously you're targeting it at people who are doing, bodybuilding, weightlifting and stuff. So I think, just simplifying it. Or Cali says, okay, or maybe just eager. Yeah, maybe just eager. Yeah, could do it as simply as that. Then there are maybe some other puns you could explore around beaver. For example, beavers build dams. There's lots of colloquialisms that include the word dam, like hot damn or damn, or I'm trying to think of some off the top of my head and nothing's coming. Damn boy or damn girl or whatever, so you could do some stuff like that and reuse the same graphic. Or damn, this is heavy, or this is damn heavy, or something like that. Lanita says busy building. So yeah. Some options there for that approach. And then Cali, you did, so your website is calirally.com. Is that right? I spelled it right? Yes. So let's just take a quick look here at your, I don't know whether it's Shopify store. What's good about your store, Cali, is very, very clear what the vibe is and what we're going after. Very good choice of mock-ups with the trainers and the water bottle. and it's clear, just by looking at the first three designs, what we're going after here. We're going after fitness, lifting weights, and that whole crowd. So that's good. Like it. I like the fact that you've got photos of real people. I like the fact you got photos of real T-shirts. That's always good. I feel like maybe this is just me, but I can certainly tell when people are just using mock-ups for stuff. Like, I know these are mock-ups. They're nice looking mock-ups, but or I think they're mock-ups. But yeah, even these, at least you're not using the standard mock-up. But they're nice. But then you've got, obviously some real photos as well, which is a lot better. And I feel like if I can tell, maybe other people can tell as well. So I try not to use too many, pre-bought mock-ups in my certainly in my marketing for Instagram and stuff. I think it's okay on your Shopify store, for your product images. But when you're doing Instagram and stuff, you don't it's fine for this to be like this. But when you're doing Instagram, it's not great if you're scrolling on someone's Instagram and it's just mock-up after mock-up. It just doesn't look engaging. So yeah, cool stuff. I don't really have much to add. I'm not sure about the name. I know obviously that's linked to your name, and whether is that a word or a phrase that somehow makes sense to that community. I don't know. But that's the only thing that kind of trips me up a little bit on here. And I do think, like, some of your designs, there's quite a lot of colors going on, and whilst there's certainly a consistency in your style, I feel like there's something you could do to try and, some of these designs could be simplified a bit more, made to look a bit more appropriate. Like, there's not a lot of playing on any kind of existing graphic styles or anything like that. They all follow a pretty simple, funny text with funny image. And I just wonder whether you could expand out into some other approaches. So yeah, hope that helps you, Cali. And yeah, and we've got some other suggestions. Damnation, says Lance. Cali says Trunk Studio mockups on Etsy if anyone is interested for the mockups. Cool. Cali says it's just my pen name. I'm expanding to other collections. All right. And Kat says, I wonder if more could be done with the color of the shirts. There is a lot of gray. Yeah, that's a good point. We are looking at a lot of gray and white mockups when we land on here, so it's not that colorful when you land on the site. And I know the heather gray thing is probably quite popular with fitness folks, but yeah, that's a good suggestion from Kat. A bit of color would probably help it look a bit more visually, aesthetically appealing. So yeah. Lance, not to beat a dead horse, for Instagram posts, you recommend just posting the design by itself, not on a mock-up, or vary the type of post? Yeah, Lance. So I would say on Instagram, yeah, like I've just said, you certainly don't want to be like same kind of thing every single time. But that's not going to engage people and make people want to follow you. It's not wrong to post mock-ups of your products on Instagram. Just don't make it the only thing you do. So it's post a mock-up and then do close-up of a design for the next one, and then do a real photo of the t-shirt on the next one, and then do behind the scenes or whatever. You just got to put yourself in the trainers, in the sneakers of someone looking at this and think, how are they going to, what's going to make them hit the follow button? And it's got to be engaging, and it's got to look real, and it's got to look alive, and it's got to be interesting and funny and all those things. So you want to give just a variety, I think, is probably the short answer. Cali says, I'm not a developed illustrator, so it's just going to take time to develop the skills to design for tees and other colors. Yeah, absolutely, Cali, that's true. And I think you're off to a great start. You can tell that you have, you've grasped concepts like layout and size and size of text and stuff like that. So the designs look good and professional. But yeah, I think as you develop as an illustrator and as you develop, a bit more color theory and stuff like that, yeah, you'll definitely get there. So good stuff. Kelly says, I'm so close to scrapping the t-shirts and going full sticker shop. Okay, well, I mean, if that's what's making sales for you, then yeah, that could be the way to go. Like, there's no rules that say you must sell t-shirts. If stickers is what's doing it for you, then go the sticker route. Like, yeah, I've got friends who did t-shirts for ages, and then they just started selling phone cases, and then the phone cases just took off, and now all they sell is phone cases. So yeah, it depends on your strategy and what your route is. And of course, if you are looking for more of a strategic conversation around your business, michaelessick.com/Cal, and you can book a slot if that's something you're interested in. Okay, we can maybe squeeze in one more. Oh, that we've already done Drawn to Cats. We did that one. Audrey, Starlight. Audrey's here. I've seen you already. But first, a couple of questions. Dave, is it good to create our own mascot cartoons and design a t-shirt with it? Well, it's certainly good to draw characters on your designs. I would always recommend that. I do recommend including faces and things. That's something that connects emotionally with people rather than just, flat graphics of objects or animals or something. So things with faces is very good. If you mean create your own kind of like cartoon characters or characters that you're going to use repeatedly, that's a harder thing to do, and I think you really need to have a kind of plan around what how you're going to use that. That's probably the kind of thing someone would do if they were doing like a web comic and that kind of vibe. So that's a harder thing to do and requires a lot more kind of consistency and effort. But yeah, like there's obviously lots of good examples of webcomic people out there. Nathan Pyle, I think? Let's just pull him up. Yeah, Nathan W. Pyle is a good example of someone who's been illustrating and doing stuff for a long time, and then he kind of developed this Strange Planet comic and these alien characters. So anyway, he's just one who comes to mind as a good example of someone who's done that successfully. Audrey says no reason not to have both. I think that's on the stickers t-shirt front. I agree. Lynn, on merch by Amazon backgrounds have to be plain white, so I assume that means no accessories in the photo either. Lynn, merch by Amazon handles the mock-ups completely, so you don't do a photo image, you don't produce a mock-up. You upload a design and they're going to handle anything else, so you don't need to worry about it. You upload a design that has a transparent background, a PNG file, and you're away. Okay. Right, let's have a quick look at Audrey Starlight. Etsy.com/shop/Etsy Audrey. Maybe I'll just do a search for Audrey Starlight. So you've got your Instagram and you've got your Etsy store, although I can't find it here. Maybe it's linked up here. Yes, it is. So Audrey, you're a model artist at Hasbro, which sounds very exciting, and people can't see my screen. Sorry about that. Here we go. Audrey Starlight. Model artist at Hasbro, character-focused illustrator and designer. Starlight is me, my mascot, and we can see here some of your work. So you're obviously a very talented illustrator. You're doing Stacey Bloomfield's course. Cool. Rising above your bull S-word. Very nice. And I think you said you've only really done like a few designs, so you only have a few products for sale right now. So yeah, let's take a look at some of these. So I think, Audrey, I can see your trajectory. Obviously, you're an individual artist. You're working a job, I assume, and then you're exploring and trying out selling stuff on Etsy. And I can see that you obviously, as an illustrator, your skills are top notch. The quality of your illustration is clear for everyone to see. But you've only done like a few, designs that would really work as stickers or T-shirts or anything like that. So I think, my advice to you, because you don't need any advice on the illustration front, I think I would just say keep going. You don't have a lot of designs here, product designs ready to go. And I think if you just kind of commit to churning out some designs, this kind of stuff is great. And I think as you do that, as you churn this stuff out, I'm sure you've got some ideas on a list somewhere of phrases and things that you might want to develop and create designs for. As you do that, the more you put out there, what you're going to find is you're going to see that there's certain designs that take off and make sales, or that get likes and favorites or whatever. And that's what will guide you. That's going to give you indication of, okay, I'm going to kind of go that direction. Maybe these kind of sayings or this kind of crowd is attracted to this, so I'm going to do more of that. And as you put more stuff out there, you're going to just get that feedback. And yeah, I would say, because you're in the early stages where you don't have a necessarily a clear brand, it's all under you as the artist. Then it's a bit too early to say, should you build a corgi based brand? Should the brand be more about the aesthetics than it is about the actual content and the phrases and stuff? Should it be, around, I don't know, fantasy artwork and that kind of vibe? I just don't know. And I think you won't know until you've created, somewhere. I would say, I know it sounds a lot, but like the 100 designs mark is where a lot of people start to begin to find their flow. And I know that sounds like a lot, but no one's saying you have to do this overnight. But if you can create 100 designs, say over the next, I don't know, 6 months, a year, and then in a year's time, you'll have a much clearer picture of, okay, these are the designs that I can do quite fast and efficiently, and they sell and they're popular, and it's this kind of vibe. And then you'll have a much clearer picture of whether you want to start a brand around that or something like that. Lynn says, Audrey, your work is fantastic. I love the Blue Fox and the BS Phoenix. Audrey says, I'm actually trying to shift from the company work to more freelance licensing. I had to change my whole portfolio for that reason, sadly. Yeah, and I think, Audrey, you're in that enviable position where obviously you can do commissioned work because you have a style that clearly lends itself to that. I'm not really that experienced in like doing commissioned illustration work. I did logo designs and stuff for people and basic stuff, but I've never really done like what I would call this level of illustration and artwork, and been commissioned to do that. So I don't know much about that space, but at least you have that you can do. And that's kind of what I did in the early days. I did logo designs for people. I did little cute characters. And then I worked on designs that I thought were funny and put them on Redbubble. So yeah, that's a great position to be in, because, you're not going to be making loads in the early days from your licensing stuff. So it really helps to have that. So yeah. And licensing, I think, once you find your groove, I could definitely see this, morphing into that. But I would keep that in mind as you're creating stuff. What could this be? And ideally, I think what I would recommend you do is think about, what brand is this going to be? What could it, if you put yourselves in the shoes of, say, a buyer at Hot Topic, not a customer, but like someone who works for Hot Topic, works in corporate at Hot Topic, and they're trying to decide what to stock their sticker shelves with or whatever. What do you have that's going to make them go, oh yeah, we should stock that? And here's what they're going to be looking for. Really great illustration and quality artwork. You've got that. Really great ideas and concepts which are on trend. I think you're close to that, and you've certainly got the ability to do that. But they're also going to look for, is this like a quality established brand? Do we have social media? Do we have a kind of coherence? So I don't just want to sell one of your stickers in my store. I want to sell a range of your stickers, and I want them to be consistent, and I want people to pick up one sticker and then want to buy 2 or 3 other stickers because they all match and stuff. So that's the kind of thing I would try and get into your head, as you're trying to figure things out, is think, okay, don't do too many crazy standalone things. try and think a brand and think about, mini brands and ranges, or however you want to call it, series of designs, so that you are doing something that could become a brand. Because right now it's a little bit, it's early days. It's a bit disparate. You've got corgis, you've got falcons and phoenixes, and unicorns, So try and, begin to think about how you might pigeonhole yourself. I know it's early days to make a decision on that. You don't have to make a decision. But yeah, keep that in mind and it will just help you, I think. Scott says, looks like a perfect candidate for the ideas workshop. Get those puns flowing. Yeah, definitely. If you want puns help, or you want help coming up with funny phrases, the ideas workshop is where you want to be. Cat, I'm like that too, Audrey. I get very tempted to add swears. Cat says corgi very cute. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. I think that will bring us in for a landing. So thank you, Audrey. I'm sorry that I didn't get to everybody else. I was going to look at Kev and Bob and a few other people, but if you are interested in a completely private one-on-one, michaelessick.com/Cal. That's my online calendar. You can book a slot there for a private consultation. Half an hour slots or an hour slots, if that's something you're interested in. We can talk about your artwork. We can dig into your style, maybe opportunities that you might be missing that I think you could really slot into. And by the way, this is not like when I do these consultations, it's not like I just hop on a call with you and, we go straight away. I ask you to send me some stuff. I look at it beforehand. I formulate some plans and some pointers and stuff. So yeah, michaelessick.com/Cal if you're interested in that. I can help you with individual designs. Oops. I can help you with what happened there? I can help you with your brand, your full on your Shopify store or something like that, your Instagram account. I can help you with print on demand sites. So anything like that, I can help you with. I can't really help you with, artistic help. Can't really make you a good designer or illustrator. But anything strategic, I can help you with. So michaelessick.com/Cal if you're interested in that. And also, if you've enjoyed the session today, make sure you sign up at michaelessick.com/live so you can get free resources, tips, regular advice emails from me. You also get instant access to 5 ways to improve your ideas. That's my ebook, which you can see on screen there. There's a fonts for t-shirt designers resource pack, which is in there. The idea files ebook, that's completely free as well. And you can get all of this and more at michaelessick.com/live. So I think we will come in for a landing right there. So thank you to everyone who submitted. Thank you to everyone we covered for sending stuff in, giving me something to talk about. I hope it was helpful. Hope I haven't offended anyone. Audrey said this is really helpful. Thank you. Scott says some great stuff to be seen today. Congrats to all and thanks, Michael. And who else do we have? A few more comments before we wrap up. Cali says thanks. Bo says thanks. Lynn says thank you. Q says, if I need a designer, what platform would you recommend? I personally found my designers via 99 Designs, not by posting work for them to do, but by going and looking at work they've submitted. So I think that's a bit of an untapped resource, 99 Designs. That was a few years ago, though. The landscape could have changed. I've not hired anyone for a few years. Tanya says, thank you, very helpful. Catherine says, really helpful, not at all offended. Good. And Jaideep says, thank you very much for this session. Got to learn a lot of new things. Cool. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. Once again, michaelessick.com/Cal if you would like a private, completely private, one-on-one consultation, discussion about your work and your business, help you get unstuck. michaelessick.com/Cal and michaelessick.com/live to get access to all these free resources and much more. All right. We will end it there for today. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Have a great weekend. Hope you'll be watching on Sunday when England bring it home, all the way home. And yeah, I'll talk to you next week once England are champions of Europe. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great one, and I'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye-bye.